Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Prison to Promise podcast, the podcast that explores transformation, redemption, and the journey beyond incarceration. I'm your host, Dr. Craig Waleed. Today's guest is someone whose story reminds us that redemption is not just a word, it's a lived experience. The brother Gregory Winbush served time in prison in the 1990s, and like many people leaving incarceration, he faced the long shadow of a criminal record. But Gregory didn't allow his past to define his future, you heard? Years after his release, Gregory received a full pardon from the governor of Ohio, a moment that changed the trajectory of his life forever. Today, Gregory dedicates his time to helping other people pursue second chances, guiding people through the complex process of applying for pardons and reclaiming their dignity and opportunity. In this conversation, we explore what it means to carry a criminal record. We explore the power of forgiveness in the criminal justice system. Ain't no justice there, though. And why redemption should be more than just an ideal. It should be a real pathway for people who have paid their debt to society. Right? So, won't you please join me in welcoming Gregory Winbush to the Prison to Promise podcast. Now, let's go. Right on. So, thanks for asking me to jump on with you, man.
Well, thank you for accepting me to join on. It's pouring down rain in here in Ohio, so yes, it's so I was getting ready to leave, so that changed my program for right now.
Dope. Well, where there's life, there's water. So let's be appreciative of the rain.
Yes.
You know, I know Loose Ends once sang that song. You can't stop the rain when it starts to fall. You know.
You're absolutely right, because it's pouring down rain, and I'm hearing the thunder and
Yeah,
lightning and rain at the same time.
yeah. And speaking about the rain, man, I know that at some point in your life it was wet, it was rainy, it was gloomy. But I think you got a
94,
pardon.
94, 94, 94 was
Yeah,
a dark time in my life.
yeah. Can you maybe perhaps briefly introduce yourself to maybe our listeners and tell us a little bit about that dark period of your life?
Yes, name is Greg Winbush from Columbus, Ohio. Um, Born and raised here. Youngest of four. Uh, have three adult sons, two stepsons. I have five grandchildren, three great grandsons. Married to my beautiful wife, Dorcella Winbush. We've been married for 18 years.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 18 years. Met her when I first came out.
Yeah. And
About
what'd you
4
call
months after I was out, I came out and met her
Mhm.
at a basketball game, at a AAU basketball game. I was a coordinator for her son was playing, and one of my mentors introduced me to her, and um, we started dating, and one thing led to another, and we eventually ended up getting married. And the best thing could happen to me besides getting out
Yeah.
of prison.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yes.
What year did you get out of prison?
I got out in 95.
95. Yep.
I
So if
spent
you
2.5 years.
two and a
Yep.
half years behind, yeah. And any time behind that wall, man,
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I read your story. I read your bio, which, and want to compliment you on your journey.
thank you so much, brother. And
Yeah.
my journey would not be what it is without the support of the people around me, some family, some friends, some community members,
Yeah.
that really
I agree
helped me
with
up.
you.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you because on my journey, my mother, she passed away in '04,
Mhm.
Mildred Wilson, and she came and visited me every 2 weeks or 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel you. Yeah, my mom did the same. She visited me as often as she could, maybe every month, once a month, depending on
Right.
how close or how far away from home I was. I was in state penitentiary, and New York State is a pretty big.
He was in New York.
Yeah, I was in
Okay.
New York, and it's a pretty good size state, as you probably well know,
Sure.
and there's
Sure.
prisons all over the place. So sometimes she couldn't come see me for quite a while, but between mom and some aunts and cousins and old friends and church folk that my mom went to church with. Yeah.
I tell people that having a support system was a blessing.
Yeah, man.
I stay connected to the community. I stay connected to people.
Mhm.
My mother would always come and she would always have messages from people contacting her to let me know that once I got out, if
Mhm.
I needed anything, and that was definitely help because I seen people who was inside who had been in there, nobody ever come and visit them. They never accepted phone calls and never got any letters. So I tell people all the time, the first 30 days coming out is so important to
Mhm.
reconnect because if you've been gone for 2, 5, 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
the world has changed
Abs
and you've been used to being told what to do, when to do it. When you get out here
Mhm.
in society, it's a rude awakening. So I,
Absolutely.
so I agree with you. I was totally blessed to have a support system. And I
Mhm.
tell people that that's something that um, sometime, not all the time, but it separate people from going back.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the difference. I was just thinking that, and also I think it also is the difference between, um, creating or building, hope or not having hope, because when you got support, I think you have a greater chance of building hope and knowing that you have a greater chance of being successful. It's like that old African adage that says if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you bring along companions. And I also think about support because you can bring along people, but they may not necessarily be companions. Um, they may actually do things to sabotage your journey. Same with supports. There may be pro social supports and there may be anti social supports.
Sure.
And so it's important that when we do have supports, that we have the right supports. And I'll end with this
Oh,
quick just example of a guy I worked with once. I was a substance abuse counselor, and he says, Dr. Waleed. Well, at this time I wasn't Dr. Waleed. I was just Craig.
sure.
But he says, "You think that I'm going to divorce the streets?" He said, "When I was a kid," I forgot how young he was. He was very young,
Right.
pre-adolescent, I believe. But he was like, "My father taught me how to cook crack, cut crack, weigh crack, bag crack, clean the pistol, fire it." And by the time I think he was like 12 or 13, he was like, "My father
Right.
gave me a whole package and told me, go get your money, pimp." So that supported him, but it was that
Yeah.
antisocial negative
Yeah. Yeah.
support, you know?
And, what you exposed to, that's what you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, guys who never worked, who never had a job and they've been in that life and when they go to prison, they come out.
Mhm.
Um, they're older. Some of them still want to get back into the game,
Yeah.
but also too, a lot of them want to change, but due to their records, and that's where I come in at because
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to come out, have support,
Mhm.
get employment,
Yeah.
go back to school, get
Mhm.
my degree.
Nice.
I worked for the first African American male mayor here, Mayor Michael B. Coleman. He was the longest serving mayor for 16 years. He hired me in '06 when I had a felon, and I applied for the pardon in 2010. He was the first sitting mayor ever in the state to come to a pardon hearing. And on the last day, in 2011, the former governor Ted Strickland signed the papers for me to have a pardon. So I am totally blessed to sit here and talk to you with your own journey, but my own journey is my journey, just like yours is yours. And
Yeah.
I don't take it lightly what I do because my name is on this.
Yeah.
And when I was in prison, I was walking the track the first 6 months thinking about what I was going to do when I got out. And also too, who can I help?
Yeah. So, tell me this, brother Gregory. You were walking the track thinking to yourself, "What am I gonna do when I get out?" I don't know your pre-incarceration story, but I know many of us, when we go into the penitentiary, that's the furthest thing from our mind. How am I going to be successful? We might be thinking about other stuff, but what I'm going to do when I get out during the first 6 months of prison, like what happened? Like, how did you end up in that type of mindset with
Well, like I said, Dr. Waleed, I'm not a criminal. I made a mistake.
right?
I got 31 years playing now.
Mm,
Okay. So, um, and when I got there, I know this wasn't a place for me, but also too, I had to figure out what I was going to do when I was there. At the
mm,
time, college was going on. I got in college. I was doing tutoring.
mm,
So my mindset was from zero to the finish line.
mm,
I had to prepare myself
yeah,
because I know that I was going to be getting out. I didn't do a lot of time.
yeah,
So I might as well use it wisely while I was here. So that was my thinking that
yeah,
let me come in here um, and prepare myself to get out.
yeah,
Reset.
yeah.
Absolutely reset.
And your statement, man, was powerful. I'm not a criminal. I made a mistake. And so
Yeah.
many of us who find ourselves in prison are not criminals. We made mistakes or we came from disadvantaged backgrounds, but we might have got caught up in some criminal behavior, but we're not criminals most.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what happened. I got caught up. Make no excuses, make no
Mm,
apologies. I take full ownership of it, but also
mhm.
too, I take ownership of me moving forward.
Right on. Right
That's
on.
why I'm here today
Right
to
on.
let you know and let people know who hear this broadcast that you can't change.
Yeah, man. You can definitely change. We know that. And that's a big part of this platform. But I guess I might as well I wanna touch something first before I move there, because you
Sure.
mentioned, having a partner, man, and for many people, a partner is just a legal term, um, but someone like you who has lived with a criminal record at some point, um, it can mean something deeper, much deeper, having a partner. So, what did the moment mean to you personally, like, when you
Well,
received it?
personally, I'm glad you brought that question up. Personally, it meant getting a fresh start,
Mhm,
but also too, I was coaching. It
mhm,
helped me to coach um, voting rights here in Ohio.
mhm,
I got my voting rights back.
mhm,
I've been on 2 grand juries and 2 regular juries, been able to have employment, have a house.
mhm,
So it was not only getting a pardon, but there was other things at the end of that, that,
mhm.
that, and that's what I tell people that they're not just giving them out. You have to earn it.
Right.
And they look at what you've been doing while you were in. They look at what you was doing out,
Mhm.
who's supporting you, and what have you been doing um, to because that is a big ask.
Yeah,
When the
man.
governor signs off on something like that, he's putting his name and putting his reputation on the line.
Absolutely. Or, you know
So I didn't take it for granted for the mere fact that I was eligible for it, first of all.
right.
And second of all, that the first time I applied for it, I was able to get it through the other support of other people.
Mm,
And Mayor Michael B. Coleman, the mayor of Columbus, Ohio, my family, the support I had helped.
right on.
But I had to do the footwork. I
Absolutely,
had
you have to do the grunt work.
I had to get the application, I had to fill it out.
Mhm,
I had to get the background check. I had to
mhm,
get the fingerprint. I had to get letters, character reference letters. Had an interview. Then I
mhm,
had a panel of people who were on the parole board, and my wife, Dorsey Winbush, Mayor Coleman, Pastor Troy, New Salem,
mhm,
uh, retired state worker Robert Keys was there, so I had support.
right on. And again,
Yeah,
it's that pro-social support that we talked
yeah,
about earlier, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
People who have access to resources, people who have a good word for you, those things that help build you up and hold you up. So, the other thing I wanted to touch on, man, was I didn't realize this till I was thinking last night about this conversation that you and I are having now. And I realized that though I highlight people on this podcast who are doing pro-social things post incarceration, what I also realize is that a vast majority of people, such as yourself, who are on the podcast have used their criminal convictions, their time in prison, as an impetus or motivation to go on to help other people in their journeys. And earlier in our beginning of our conversation, you talked about some of the work you do. And I read a little bit about you, so I understand some of the work you do. But can you talk about that helping work that you do for other people?
Well, like I said, everybody cannot get a part, and so I help them with expungements and sellings, but also too, Dr. Waleed, I have guys who I talk to, and they call me back and they say, "Mr. Wimbush, really appreciate you talking to me because when I go to other places, once I tell them I'm a felon, they kind of say okay and push me off, give me a card to go somewhere else." So I have people that I see them at their lowest, that, they've been trying, but due to the fact of their background,
Hmm.
they don't have anywhere else to go because they've been shuffled around.
Yeah.
So just having somebody that have a life experience like myself, being able to talk to them.
Hmm.
I don't guarantee anything, but I try to work with people. We may not go this way, we may go this way.
Right.
But just talking to them, trying to give them a roadmap to some other possibilities when they had no hope at all when they first met me.
Right on. Right on. And we know, man, that having a criminal record can be psychologically and socially just like, I don't know, it can just cause it's a heavy weight. It's a heavy psychological
It's
weight.
it's like the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah, man.
Certain offenses, violence, sex, certain offenses you can't get it expunged, you can't get it sealed or apart. And so
Yeah.
some people have records that they're at a no end. And so some of them I tell them, I say, you're gonna have to start your own business. Or you have to find somebody who will support you to speak for you on your behalf. But just going in regular to try to fill out an application, once you check the box.
Mhm.
I've been on a committee about banning the box. I mean, I think it's unfair for people once they check the box,
Yeah.
they just push the application to the side.
Right to the side, bro.
No phone call, anything, and Mayor Coleman, he started a program I was a coordinator for in 2012. It was called Restoration Academy.
Hmm.
And he started the program. And we had a 93% placement rate from 2012 to 2015. People was making $20 an hour. Also, out of the first two cohorts of 15, as of today, as we speak on this podcast, we still have 26, 27 people still work for the city, but also too, they work in other jobs around the city. And, it was a great program that he started. Because when I was his staff assistant, we would go to different parts of the city and people would speak to him and say, Mayor, how you doing? And he said, I'm doing good. He said, what's going on? He said, I need a job, but I got a felon. So he heard on the east side, the west side, the north side, the south side. And through that process, when he was hearing about this, he said, well, he figured something out. And he came up with Restoration Academy. And just seeing people come in with no hope or who've been rejected. We had a criteria: 18 years old, GED, no criminal assaults, anything like that, of violence, but also too, and it was very successful. I mean, got a chance to see people come in with their head hanging down, and then all of a sudden, before it's up, they had their head up, the chest out, they were smiling, they reconnected with their loved ones, ended up getting houses, ended up getting buying trucks. I mean, it, it was something that you seen right in front of you.
Yeah.
Not stuff you see on TV or see in the newspaper. This was actually on a day-to-day basis, seeing people have a little pep in their step.
Mhm.
After a couple of weeks, you seen they had a bounce.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it said, I ain't never felt like this before.
And you said that
Seeing
was
all
called Project Resurrect?
Racing Academy.
Restoration Academy.
Yeah.
It just brings to mind, I had like a little brain fart earlier. I was talking about psychological, sociological, but as you talked about Restoration Academy, what I was thinking back a couple statements ago is that incarceration can be a social death. And this program is an example that you just mentioned of how people can be brought back. They can be restored, and I think all of us, no matter if we have a violent offense or not. All of us are worth investing in, and all of us have the potential to rebound and to become resurrected. Um, some of us just have much deeper scarring, so it makes it that much more difficult.
That's why the work I do, I always have time for people, regardless if I can help them or not, because I know what it meant to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And just some people, they don't have that. And through the program, I've seen people's life change. I see them periodically throughout the city now,
Hmm.
and they always ask how America am I doing.
Yeah.
And they always tell me, tell him I said thank you, and when I see him, I give him an update on certain people I see, and it makes people feel good
Mhm.
when you know that you've done good and you try to help people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Because the reason I'm sitting here today is because somebody gave me an opportunity.
Right. And so when we get in a position that we can help others, it's only the right thing that we do it, you know. And we've heard these statements throughout our lives, the best way to keep something is to give it away, you
Yeah.
know. That's what comes to mind right here, the best way to keep your freedom and to keep your knowledge base expanding, you got to give it away. You got to get that game away. You got to get that insight away, you know.
Somebody asked me, they said, how do you feel now that you've been out?
Mm.
And I said, I feel great, but also too, there's a lot of people behind me that need to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. So many.
Like they say, reach down and pull somebody else up.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing because somebody helped me. And I know by me doing this work, I have people coming to me in tears because the fact the door has been slammed, applications been denied, and people look at you different. Being transparent
Mhm.
for me was a decision I made because I did a couple articles in the newspaper and there's people who came to me and said, I never knew that.
Yeah.
And they said, I never knew that. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay, well, thank you very much, and they read the article. You know, it's a risk when people expose themselves to things that people don't understand or they
Right.
look at it in a negative way.
Right.
So I had to take a risk in order to be okay with me, but also to help some others.
Yeah, yeah, and those are those healthy risks, and I think
Yeah.
they're definitely worth it, what you're talking about, because some people, they believe that once somebody commits a crime that, um, the label should follow them forever, and all the negative connotations that come with that label, but I think it's important, man, that we give people room to redeem themselves, um,
Yes. And
because
that's
all of us have fallen short.
when I used to walk the track and there were some guys in another unit, they'd be under the tree playing dominoes, whatever, and I'd be walking and, hey, what's happening? And, eventually one came out, two came out. But before I left, we had about 5 or 6 guys. And, being inside, there's only certain conversations you feel comfortable having.
Mhm.
And then in the track, we were able to express ourselves about our ideals on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, man.
And one of the brothers who's here now, he's doing behavioral health and addiction and everything. He was one of those guys. And we talked, when I see him periodically, we always say, we give thumbs up and said, once we got out,
Yeah.
this is what we was gonna do. So he doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. But it's just the fact that um, it's a tough road,
Mhm.
but it's work because when you see people that nobody gave any hope to,
Mm.
and you trying to instill in them or share with them about it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
They can't see it at that moment because they right in the middle of it. But
Yeah.
as each day goes on,
Mhm.
starts getting a little bit better, a little bit better.
Mhm.
When they finally get that job, get that car, get that apartment, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I know
know?
behind the wall, they used to say it gets greater later.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, it does. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
especially when you've been in that dark space, man, for so long, it's like, is this life?
yeah, man.
There's guys in there. There was one gentleman, he was doing life, and he told me, he said, Wimbush, you gonna get out. He said, I want you to do one thing. I said, what's that? He said, help somebody else. And I always remember that.
That's right. That's right.
I always remember that. I mean, a kind word, few dollars here,
Yeah.
coffee here.
A smile.
That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's unfortunate that we live in a country that we got one of the largest incarcerations in the world.
Probably the largest.
Yeah, that's what I say, in the world.
Well, man.
So
There's
we are we are very blessed,
yes, sir.
to be able to come out and to do things and reunite with your family and
Yeah.
your friends, but also too doing what we doing.
Yeah.
You in a different part of the country, I'm in a different part of the country. Here we are on a podcast talking about helping others.
Yeah.
We helping ourselves, we helping others. That's a
Absolutely.
blessing in itself.
And in saying that, that sparks me to think about if someone is listening or catches or hear to this podcast at some point, um, from a prison cell, or if they're coming home with the record and feeling like odds are stacked against them, um, what would you want them to know?
That there's somebody on the outside that you can contact. My email address is winbushenterprise at yahoo.com. My phone number is 614-369-0596 here in Ohio, in Columbus.
Yeah.
If they come in my way, please contact me. But also, too, Dr. Waleed, I would definitely like to talk to you about doing some partnership.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's stay in touch, and we'll
Yeah,
follow up when this conversation's over. You
yeah.
know, and I have like one, maybe two last things to
Sure.
ask you, and
Mm.
one of them is, looking back on the man you were before you went to prison, and the man you are today. Um, what would you say to your younger self?
I would say don't get distracted by the things that you think are good for you, because once the novelty wears off,
Mhm.
there's a consequence to pay. So all things ain't good for you. They may look good for you, but they're not good for you. You, you take a risk. I took a risk. But also, too, I always say this, Dr. Wiley, I wasn't arrested, I was rescued.
I hear you there. That
Yeah.
resonates with me.
I wasn't arrested, I was rescued,
Yeah.
drug problem, not thinking right,
Mhm.
committed a crime, my time, 31 years clean now, married, my own business, have a partner, reconnected with my family, my kids and my grandkids, my great grandkids. So, is there a trade off? Yes, it is. Was it worth it? Yes, it was. I mean, he did not necessarily had to go there, but now where I'm at, I'm a better person today than I was before.
Yeah. And the unfortunate piece is sometimes, man, pain therapy, man, sometimes is what gets us right. And prison is pain, bruh.
Well, like I said, I mean, people don't realize that once you get out, there's still things that you may mask, but you still have the loudness,
Yeah.
clinging of the clinging of the gates.
Yeah. Jingling the keys.
Yeah. When to get up, when to go to bed, when count, all those things, and some people, they get conditioned for that because once they come out, they see that they can't move in the system out here, so they can commit another crime to go back where they know that where it's comfortable at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. And some people, they say, well, I don't want to be out here,
Yeah.
and they do something to go back.
It's hard out here, bruh.
I know it's hard out
It's
here.
hard. And so,
If
yeah.
if it was easy, a lot of people wouldn't go
Yeah.
because, that shiny object you was talking about, they trying to come up.
Yeah.
And when they don't, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And when you don't, I mean, sometimes I told a guy, I said, sometime it ain't always guaranteed that you go back. You may end up in a cemetery.
That's right. That's right, and we
You
know
know?
that. You know,
Yeah.
and people coming out of penitentiary have increased rates of early homicide,
Yeah.
early overdose,
Yeah.
poor health
Yeah.
outcomes that can cause early demise.
Or try to do another score
Uh-huh.
and end up in a
Mhm.
bad situation. So there ain't no guarantee that you'll go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell guys all the time, they have to think things through.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be the best situation for you, but it beats going back in there.
Absolutely. I think about the late great American poet DMX,
Mhm.
and he says, "Bad decisions lead to last decisions."
Yeah.
In one of his lyrics, and I think that's real, especially when it comes to criminal legal matters.
How many people you know that you came and associated with? I know myself
Mhm.
is that guy did one thing, when made one mistake in doing life, but
Yeah,
doing
man.
10 to 50 years. And here's some guys doing on a installment plan, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And here one person made one mistake and he's doing 15, 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's a horrible thing. My mom used to always beg me, "Son, please, stay out of trouble because getting in trouble is so easy to get into and so hard to get out
Hard
of."
to get out. Oh man, let me tell you, that's what I'm saying. I'm sitting here being a living proof of it, man. It's a lot of work. I
Absolutely.
take nothing for granted, man. You've been blessed. I've been blessed, man.
Yeah.
And try to bless other people through what we went through our life experiences, to shine and share with people, letting them know there is hope. But
Mhm.
you got to do the work.
Yeah, man.
I'm here as a navigate, as your guide.
Mhm.
I can't do it for you. You got to have some skin in the game.
That's right. You're a navigator, you're a consultant, but
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta put the one foot in front of the other.
And you know yourself, if you don't have any skin in the game, you won't be successful. You won't be motivated because somebody else helped you get there.
That's
And
right.
you didn't put the work in.
That's right. That's right. You don't have the value in it. You don't have the sweat equity in it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Yeah, when you build something, you clean something or whatever it is, you have more of an
Feel
advantage.
proud about it. Yeah. Like
Absolutely.
they say, be the best frequent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Whatever you do, be the best at it.
Yeah,
Uh,
be best at this.
but
Yeah, and the street
absolutely.
cleaner, be the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important, man. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the podcast,
Thanks,
but
brother.
definitely like to talk to you about doing some collaboration.
Right on. So, brother, one last thing then,
Sure.
we got about 5 minutes. I've asked you a bunch of questions. Is there anything that you like to maybe just drop a couple words on before we sign out of here? Anything?
Oh, one of the things about it, I know that you did time. You did some. You share with me what changed your life.
Mhm. Yeah.
What was a turning point for you?
Mhm.
The dark side of it, but what's a turning point for you to say, I'm better than this?
Yeah, man. And that's a great question, and thanks for asking that, man. And so it wasn't a one shot deal or a panacea. It was a number of things, and one of them that really just like was a floodlight was reading the book, the autobiography Malcolm X. That
Mhm.
just kind of just turned my life around. Um, and then, meeting some guys who had been in prison most of their life and started mentoring me. Those guys really started reminding me that, hey, man, you're worth something. We see it in you. Maybe we're not getting out, but here, read this book. Come walk the yard with me. Have this conversation with me. So it was a combination of mentors behind the wall, reading, also just, I guess, the people who helped raise me also, because those folks are very good people, were very good people, the ones who are still around and the ones who are gone,
Right.
who gave me some good things, but I had a lot of pain in my life that um, allowed me or caused me to make some poor decisions and again lead to bad decisions. But between reading, mentors, and then the pain, brother, that we talked about, I didn't want to experience the pain of being in prison anymore. So I knew that I could do something different. And I had a violent offense, man. I almost killed someone. You
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel very, very remorseful even to this day, almost 40 years later, I still
Right.
very remorseful for that about that. So, between the remorse and, wanting to avoid pain and recognizing that I can do better. I think all of those things helped, you know.
Well, congratulations, man, because you are doing better.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
That comes from one brother to another, man. I
Indeed,
mean, like you said, this is not an easy journey.
no.
Mm. I talk to a lot of brothers at all levels,
Mhm.
and one of the things, the common denominator is that it's just one day at a time.
One day at a time. But we gotta have faith, whatever your faith is, if it's in a higher
Yeah, yeah,
power, if it's in yourself, but you
yeah,
gotta believe that you can take the next step.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when you believe
Because
that, then you're gonna be successful.
yeah, because like I said, man, it's hard for people out here with no records,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So when a person does have a past,
Mhm.
trying to find somebody that understands and somebody's willing to give you a shot,
Yeah.
that in itself, just like I said, this want to spend time and speak to you and encourage you because, like you said, I mean, for the hopeless. There's a lot of people out here who are very hopeless because of the fact that the door's been slammed, they've been told no so many times. I just want to say it's been a blessing, man, for real. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my spirit when I talk to you that um, this is a very moving conversation.
Absolutely, brother. I had a whole script for this conversation, but I threw it away once we started talking, you know? So it's definitely from the heart. And with that, brother, I'm gonna call it a wrap.
Okay.
And let's follow up via telephone. Let's get on a phone call maybe later this evening or later this week, and let's start talking about some collaborative efforts.
Sure, sure. I'll see my personal cell number.
All right, sounds good, brother. You
Okay.
have a great day, brother, and I'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
All right, brother. You be
All
well.
right.
Looking
Thank
forward.
you.
All right,
All right. My pleasure.
later.
Later.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me for another episode of Prison to Promise podcast. If you or someone you know would like to share their Prison to Promise story on this platform, please hit me up at drcraigwaleed@gmail.com. I'll spell it for you. That's DrCraigWaleed@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.